Hey guys, welcome to Snake Nook. I'm Vanny, and with me I've got little Autumn Autumn. She's going to be co-hosting the video along with a couple other of my royal pythons. The topic of this video is hoarding in our American herpetoculture with a focus on snake keeping. That's right, we're going to talk about why hoarding snakes in our herpetoculture is definitely problematic. I am going to discuss 3 factors that I think contribute to snake hoarding in the hobby, as well as 3 factors that I think negatively impact our pet snakes. You're gonna wanna stay tuned. Hey guys, well, we're gonna start the video off with Firestorm, and I guess she'll stay with me throughout the rest of the video because Dipper, who was also going to join us, he is just in deep slumber in one of his cardboard boxes, and I don't want to bug him. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with one of the contributing factors to snake hoarding in our American herpetoculture. Now, before I give you all of the factors that I think are contributing, well, the 3 factors I'm going to discuss, I want you to know that all of this is my perspective and it comes from my experiences as I interact with YouTube in search of snake content. So we've got the breeder influencer influencing their audiences. So the breedfluencer or the breeder influencer will always promote their business. And so not only are they influencing viewers online, but also just other breeders. So they start to show all of the snakes that they're working with, or just different snakes that they're working with, different morphs. And you may already have 5 royal pythons, but if they now have another world's first, because 2 weeks ago they had a world's first, and this week they're going to have another world's first, but you don't have that world's first, and they're going to make it available on their dwarf market page. So now you're going to have to go and look at the dwarf market page of this breeder so that you can have a shot at purchasing that other snake that you don't need, but it's a morph you don't have and want. So yeah, the breeder influencer is definitely there to promote their business, to make a profit out of selling you more snakes and introducing more species and more species. And I have seen some channels that let's say they were working with like 3, 4, or 5 species, and now they're up to like 8 or 9 because breeders keep adding to their breeding projects. Now there's always another project. So unfortunately, the content that is out in YouTube, the snake content rather, is quite limited to breeders. So that's what you're gonna get, guys. If you are not a breeder and you're just a pet snake owner, you're going to be influenced by breeders because they are going to be giving you a lot of species information. She's trying to get down. A lot of species information, and you're going to not species, sorry, like they're gonna give you a lot of morph information, like now they have this morph, now they have that other morph, and so before you know it, you're gonna want to get that morph that you didn't need but now you want. So yes, the breeder influencer, so viewers beware. And kind of like an extension of the breeder influencer, you've got those people, well, they're still the breeder influencers, but the people that insist on making a living solely on breeding snakes. So now you've got people that instead of just working with maybe 100 snakes because they have a breeding business, they're gonna have to keep getting more snakes because they're working on all these crazy gene combos, and of which she doesn't have any crazy gene combos. She's just a pastel NG. They're gonna be working with all of these projects, guys, because it's very important to them. It's their livelihood. So it could be that they have 100 snakes currently, but that's not cutting it. That's not bringing in enough money. So now they're going to keep adding to their collection so that they can keep working with more genes and create crazy gene combos that are going to be marketable. So that kind of goes still with the breeder influencer, but what having a business that relies mostly or basically just completely relies on selling living snakes, well, just keeping 100, and 100 by no means is a small number of snakes, by no means, but sometimes even 100 snakes in their collection will not give them enough clutches for them to stay afloat. So they're gonna have to invest in more snakes, and before you know it, these breeders are just keeping way too many snakes. And for some, it's manageable. The hoarding situation is a manageable situation. It's a hoarding situation, but it's a manageable one. But for others, it is not so much a manageable situation. So let me tell you guys, just because somebody is acquiring more and more snakes that they're having to make an addition to their house, they're having to add up a whole new room, or even I don't know, set a little building outside in their backyard, that doesn't mean that they're not hoarding. They've run out of space for their collection. So now they've got to extend their facility. That's still hoarding. And unfortunately, that's where things go awry. You're gonna have people that think that they can handle a large number of snakes because their business is gonna depend on it, but really and truly they can't. And things get ugly. But hoarding of any kind is no good, guys. Know your limits. Know your limits, and it's always gonna be exciting to see the next world's first or whatever, but if you already have a dozen royals, and you don't need that 13th royal, just focus on what you have and become an expert working with the snakes that you currently have. And if it's not working out with your 100 snakes as a breeder, then maybe you shouldn't be doing this full time, or shouldn't be doing this at all. Look for some other ways of earning a living, because what you are showing other people is that, okay, I can't make enough money with 100 snakes, so I'm gonna double my collection so that I can make more, I don't know, more morphs or whatever, and turn a profit. And at some point, guys, she really wants down. At some point, you're gonna have to draw the line and say no more snakes. And then the third factor that I think adds to snake hoarding in our American herpetoculture is just the sensationalism in the thumbnails, in the video titles, guys. Just people write some pretty crazy sensational titles that draw so many people to their videos. But if you regularly look for snake content on YouTube, you have seen all those sensational titles, you know, must have or whatever, something like that. And so you've got people sensationalizing snake keeping and always looking for the next best species. And that's not a good thing. Just, I would say less than 10 years ago, the banana ball python was definitely a hot item in, and I don't mean venomous when I say hot in this context. I just mean everybody wanted a banana ball python maybe about 10 years ago, and that kind of went away because that wasn't good enough after a while. And people that may have gotten a banana ball python 10 years ago because it was a coral glow then and it was, ooh, the best thing, their coral glow is barely turning 10 and it's got maybe another 20 years to go, and it's no longer the it thing. So now they're moving on to something else, whatever it is. But and not only just morphs in ball pythons, but also different species of snakes. Not that long ago, maybe like 5 years ago, it was the super dwarf reticulated python craze and the mainland reticulated python craze. It seemed like everybody wanted to keep a reticulated python, and so many sensational titles because they were all must-haves, and all of these just sensational words that go with grabbing people's attention, like they have to have that species. And then also there was, I don't own any footage of reticulated pythons, guys. That's why I'm not putting up any pictures. There was also, I can recall, the Bolini, the Bolin's python, the Morelia bolini, beautiful Morelia, right? Beautiful snake, very large for a Morelia and very, very pricey. A lot of people were doing the best that they could to get their hands on one. And we don't need them, guys. We don't need those snakes, but people wanted them. So then there they were looking for them in the mountains. And then breeders that would get their hands on these snakes and breed them, just selling them for a ridiculous amount of money. And here are people just trying to acquire their dream snake, but that's not it, guys. I'll get into chasing your dream snake in just a little while, because that goes with things that negatively affect our pet snakes. But anyway, just a lot of sensationalism on different species, like the reticulated python, like the Morelia bolini, like the scrub python, which seems to be the it thing right now in snake keeping, and it has been for the past couple of years. You kind of hear scrub python in and out, and now people are, you know, they're acquiring them. Not that long ago, I think it was a Macklot's python that was in the spotlight just a few years ago, and everybody wanted a Macklot's python and so forth. But it's just a sensationalism that's meant to captivate the audience, whether it's other breeders or just regular pet snake owners that get caught up in all of this and start adding and adding to their collections, and before you know it, you're hoarding snakes. And the food bill can get astronomical when you're working with numbers of like 50, 60 snakes. I don't have that many, but goodness, I've had to slow it down. I've had to like actually just stop acquiring snakes, because you see this snake room around me. This is supposed to be the only room where I was going to keep snakes. This is Snake Nook. Like, we're in Snake Nook, a room that holds 15 snakes, but I have more than 15 snakes. So I've had to make room for some snakes in my bedroom and also in my living room. So I can't get any more snakes. There's no more room for them anywhere else in the house. I don't want to use the spare bedroom. And I certainly don't want to have 3 or 4 cages stacked until they reach the ceiling. That's ridiculous. I like just stacks of 2. I do have, I have like a couple stacks of 3. No, just 1 stack of 3 so far, but there will be a couple of stacks of 3 when I do have to upgrade to a couple snakes to larger enclosures. But that's it, guys. Even me, I've got to like stop. Okay, just stop. Manny, work with what you've got. You don't need any more species. You just don't. And I don't. So I've told myself, don't. No more. That's it. Stop. So I'm gonna stop. Anyway, guys, so real quick, let's go ahead and get into the things that affect our pet snakes negatively because of this hoarding. So the thing is, the more snakes that you acquire, if you are a pet snake owner, and I'm not talking about breeders here, if you are a pet snake owner, the more snakes that you get, the less time you're going to have for each individual snake. So you're going to be dividing your time into however many snakes you have. So let's say you have 20 snakes. Well, your time will be divided by 20. And that's really going to limit the time that you're giving each individual snake. So here at Snake Nook, I like to condition my snakes to handling, and the route that I take is mostly the classical conditioning. And so I like to work with my snakes and handle them and show them that humans are not that scary. We're okay. We're actually an okay stimulus. When they come out to hang out with me, my snakes know that it's okay. They're okay. Nothing bad's gonna happen to them. And I like to interact with them. I don't want my snakes just sitting in their enclosures for days and days and days with no interaction with me. That to me just that's not why I have my snakes. I know my why, and it is to work with them. It is to handle them. And so I make sure that when I do handle my snakes, that the experiences are positive for them. So if you haven't seen my latest video with Cyan, where I kind of take him around Snake Nook and just show him different areas, I kind of did that with classical conditioning in mind, just letting him know, hey, when I bring you out and you're hanging out with me, nothing bad happens to you. Look, get to see different things. And so that is the way that I condition my snakes to handling. I actually hold them, and it does take some time, guys, when they are not conditioned to handling, but I work with them. But you see, the more and more snakes that I acquire, the less time that I have with each snake. She's kind of heavy and I'm having trouble holding her up comfortably, so I think that's why she's like looking for a way down. Okay. And then lastly, something negatively that affects your snakes just because of that constant acquiring of snakes is that some snakes will need to be rehomed because you're gonna need to make room for more snakes. So let's say that you have 10 snakes, a few different species, but 10, 12 snakes in total. And now you watched one of those videos where the breeder influencer all of a sudden shows you that now they're working with a scrub python. Oh, now you want the scrub python, but you no longer have room whatsoever. The only thing that you're able to do at this time is to rehome one or two of your snakes so that you can make room for that new snake, or whatever kind of snake it is, whatever it is. It could be whatever you want that you don't have, that a breeder influencer has just shown this awesome video about this new species and now you want it. So you start to reason, well, if I rehome these two snakes that I've had for a long time, whatever they are, let's just say they're Royals, because Royals are always getting rehomed. If you rehome two of your Royals, let's just say this space up here, they were two Royals. Now you have space for a bigger snake, whatever that is. Whatever snake that you decide to get, maybe you're getting an olive python, I don't know, and that olive python requires quite a bit of space, like a scrub python would or something like that. And now you're gonna need to get rid of a couple of snakes, rehome them, because, well, now you're making room for the next best thing. So yes, that is how our snakes are impacted negatively, because they're okay, they're comfortable in their homes, they've gotten to know you, your routine, but now you're gonna uproot them because you're bringing in some new snakes. Because realistically, not everybody can just bring in a new snake. The room doesn't exist and you still want one. You know, you've been captivated by that new species that now everybody wants, and a lot of people are getting. A lot of breeder influencers have them on their channel and they look so cool to work with. So now you're gonna get it, but you're gonna be rehoming a snake or two in order to make room for that new snake. So guys, if you are in the process of acquiring yet one more snake, know why you're doing it, and don't be so easily influenced to just keep acquiring snakes, because these are living beings that live for a very long time, especially Royals. They live to 25 or even 30 years, and who knows, some of them can live even longer. There is documentation of snakes, Royals, living past the age of 30. So you never know. And these Royals, guys, they can be very addicting for people that are like seriously into morphs, and they'll get a whole bunch of them. But the point is not to just keep acquiring until you're tired of them, so then you can acquire something new. Be careful, guys. There is just a lot of consumerism when it comes to reptiles, specifically snakes, but they do need your attention. And for people like me, that I like to interact with my snakes, I like to work with them regarding handling and spending time with them, then if I am acquiring more and more snakes, then that's going to give me less time with the ones I already have. So I'm just in time to like realize that no more snakes is a good thing for me. I'm not saying that I would never ever get another snake, because you know the second you say never ever, you just do. But I think that for now, I just need to work with what I have. It is certainly not cheap to upgrade snakes, even to like these economical enclosures that I have behind me. It is certainly not cheap to do so. And then also just buying their food for, you know, for however many snakes you have. If you have 10, 15, 20, 30, it is not cheap, guys, these days to provide them with the food that they deserve. The feeders are getting more expensive. And so while it's just like, it's easy to get pulled in to all that sensationalism of thinking you need yet another species of snake, thinking you need to add yet another morph. It's just, it's unrealistic in the end, guys, if you have just accumulated a large collection of snakes. So be careful if you are planning an addition to your snake family. Just be careful that you're not overdoing it. And if you already have a large number of snakes, then you know what? Work with what you have. Work with the snakes that you have. If you're not used to so much handling, try that now. Try to have relationships with your animals so that they can seem rewarding and you're not just always seeking to acquire more and more. Well, guys, I would have had Dipper join us as well because my arm certainly needed a break from Sunfire because she is a big royal. But he was sleeping away in a box, and I would have had to open the top part of the box and get him out, and nah, he just looked really peaceful, so we just worked with Firestorm here. But thank you so much, guys, for staying with us throughout the video and giving me the time to tell you what I think is causing snake hoarding in our American herpetoculture. Well, there you have it, guys. Some factors that I think are contributing to a snake hoarding problem in our American herpetoculture, and also some factors that I think are negatively affecting our pet snakes. I hope that this video has served as some food for thought. If you have an extensive collection of snakes and are considering to add yet another one, or you're chasing yet another or a new species that you don't already have. Thank you so much for joining us till the end of the video, guys. Your company is very much appreciated, and we hope to see you here again next time. If you are not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button and the like button while you're at it, guys. Help us become a bigger community here at Snake Nook, where our pet snakes always come first. Here are a few silly clips of me trying to figure out a thumbnail for this video, but one of our cats had the idea that he was going to photobomb some of these clips. Thank you so much for watching. Y'all have a good one. Bye.